Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are going in against what you could figuratively describe as the Death Star. We are taking direct fire by the national, international batteries. They are saying that if you say 9/11 is an inside job, you're with Iran, you're with Al-Qaeda. Let me explain. The Intel Center admittedly has been caught by Wired Magazine, computer experts, and others putting their logo in the same video pixel upload as the supposed Al-Qaeda videos, to the point of where they now release them through other parties and don't put the logos on, or release audio tapes and won't even say where it comes from because they've been caught. This is one of the final pieces. Not only do we know they carried out the attacks, lied to us, took us to war, the fact that they're always uploading and having the grandson of the ADL head, Adam Gadon, sit up there and with a turban on his head saying, "I'm going to kill you, Allah Akbar." The fact that the government and former CIA commanders, senior military PSYOP intelligence officer Jim Milinek, who works directly for Donald Rumsfeld, running iDefense and the Intel Center. Do you understand that that Rumsfeld's people directly upload these? Don't you understand what they did to us on 9/11? Aren't you mad about that? I just can't want to. Man, I want to get these traitors. I want to bring them to justice. Do they just get to sit here and do this to us? Paul Watson, I'm bringing you up for this segment and the next on No Notice because you wrote this article about this today. This is the key. The smoking gun is these fake videos and fake audios coming from them, where they've got their own boys making these videos. That proves they're behind it right there, Watson. It's a key nexus point. Go ahead.
That's correct, Alex. Intel Center, who told us that this al-Zawahiri audio tape would be released 3 weeks ago, we're also behind the release of the last Bin Laden tape, which turned out was 5 years old, but they claimed that it was new. And of course, to judge the impact that these tapes used to have compared to now, consider the fact that right before the 2004 election, Osama bin Laden came out and basically stumped for Bush. Both Kerry and Bush admitted that that tape is what swung the election. Now, they have a somewhat different effect, but the policy still continues. I mean, you remember the spate of beheading videos 2 or 3 years ago. They suddenly stopped. But we still have these videos of al-Zawahiri and Adam Gadon or Adam Perlman coming out on a regular basis.
And the Intel Center, run by all these spooks, are the ones uploading it. Let me explain. They're putting their Intel Center bug in the same video layer as the supposed original Al-Qaeda screed at the bottom. They're making them, Paul.
That's right. The Wired computer expert came out and provided a detailed PDF analysis of that, showing that they were adding the Al-Qaeda brand logo at the same time as their own. And then the same expert, a day later, even though he had, he presented everything in technical format, reversed his position, which was very suspicious to say the least.
Well, he didn't really reverse. He just said, well, it's not conclusive, but it shows it. We'd already at the office on big screen TVs blown this stuff up years ago and could see it in the same layer. For those that don't work in video, you don't understand. It's in the same layer. Go ahead.
Well, the smoking gun for us, which is when we really went big on this, a couple of years ago, 18 months ago, was when they released the so-called Laughing Hijackers tape in October 2006. And that was the alleged hijackers, Atta and Zayed Jarrah, apparently attending a 2000 Bin Laden speech, but the footage was filmed by, quote, a security agency, but then released 6 years later as if it was new material from Al-Qaeda.
But then it turned out that it was really a TV dramatization from British television. We'll be right back with Paul Watson on the other side. Are you listening, police? Do you like being fed psyops, or do you want the truth?
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, I got a massive news blitz coming up here in just a moment, but finishing up, Paul, there's hundreds of points you make in the article. Hundreds. I mean, this guy commanding CIA attack forces against the Serbs admitted that's the real Zahari. We've got these other guys. I mean, he's definitely a spook. And then now the AP, later in the article, says, oh, well, we can't confirm this audio. It's just on the Internet, but it's big national news, and it will be reported as fact. And then now they already had the talking point that we're al-Qaeda, and we bombed this, we bombed that in New York. Now we're working with Iran because we say the government's behind the terror. I mean, they treat the public, Paul, like they're talking to basically mentally retarded people.
Well, yeah, because that propaganda at its base level is the most effective. You keep it simple, otherwise, they won't understand it. But going back to al-Zahawi, I mean, he appeared 2 years running before the State of the Union speech in 2006, 2007, attacking Bush's policy in Iraq just weeks after Dick Cheney and former press secretary Tony Snow had circulated this talking point that skeptics of the occupation of Iraq and skeptics about the troop surge were al-Qaeda sympathizers, and then al-Zawahiri pops up right before Bush's State of the Union speech and says exactly, the thing that would justify them calling for troop surge skeptics to be linked with al-Qaeda. So it jives perfectly with the neocons' propaganda at every point. But another perspective is to say, well, if they're having to directly engage us and propagandize in these media stunts, then it shows that we're having an effect and that we have influence. Otherwise, they just ignore us.
Paul, it's scary to know. I mean, this is when you really know the government did it. All the scientific evidence, all the lying and saying Saddam was behind it about WMDs, the troops massed around Afghanistan in the months before to invade, Bush signing the launch orders, Marvin Bush running security on the World Trade Centers, his mother writing about it in her autobiography, the NORAD drills, the stand down, the 7-7 drills, all of it. But when you realize that former CIA and Defense Intelligence operatives in psych warfare run the websites uploading this, and that it's their logo, and they're doing it on a soundstage. I mean, these people are bad, man. That is the absolute proof right there for anybody. It's just disgusting what the scum that runs this government did on 9/11. I just can't believe they killed 3,000 of us. But I guess that's a military mindset. It's just, I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe we live with these nuts running things. I can't believe the public's still brainwashed and doesn't understand, Paul.
Well, that's correct. But again, if they're having to do this, directly linking 9/11 truth movement people with being sympathetic towards America's so-called enemies, then it shows that they're scared, they're frightened of us. What's interesting to me is that, according to John McCain, al-Qaeda and Iran are in alliance. So if they're in alliance, then why is al-Qaeda's number 2 slamming Iran? You can't have it both ways.
By the way, Paul, since you raised that, he kept saying in speeches in the Middle East where it was really ridiculous, because they're not as dumbed down and they know their own politics and their own religious divisions. He would say in press conferences that, Iran's with al-Qaeda running the al-Qaeda attacks, and al-Sadr is al-Qaeda. And then, the president of Jordan, the king, others would say, no, you can't say that. Kind of like whenever Bush at the White House, with the Unicol executive, Mohammed Karzai, said that Iran was running al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Karzai said, no, they're helping, because he was like, Mr. President, he said, this is on Afghan TV, you can't say that. And Bush said, no, you were wrong, they are al-Qaeda. And he said, okay, yes, sir, they're with al-Qaeda. Because it's like saying Superman is Lex Luthor. I mean, it's just that's only for the idiots that we are in this country. Only we will buy that. Foreign, it's just totally discredits everybody. And so, you raise that point. And I said on air when McCain said that, I said, McCain isn't saying this because he's senile at 70-something years old. McCain is saying this because this is the policy to lie. And then McCain, 2 weeks ago before Congress, in the Senate, McCain said when he was talking to Petraeus, he said, is not Al-Qaeda Iran? And Petraeus said, yes, they are Al-Qaeda. And so, see, they're lying to you folks. They treat you like you're idiots. They carried out the damn attacks. What is it you don't understand? They're killers, man. They're going to kill more of us if we don't do something about them. I'm risking my damn life. Excuse me, I don't mean to get mad. I apologize. I'm risking my life here. Paul is. They're killing people locally in Austin now. This isn't a joke, Paul.